Uh-oh.
Oh, muted. Don't cut the green wire. Do not cut the green wire.
The bottom piece of mine keeps falling out right here.
No, let me see your bottom.
Maybe we need to put Johnny on a probationary period. You know,
hit the cash register sign. Let's hear it. It's right across from where the airport is.
Yeah.
So.
Hey,
Johnny, wake up.
But who's our team? Who do we root for?
It's Harvey Stewart White III. So, I've got
Harvey Stewart the third.
Yeah, that's the smuggest name of all time.
Yeah, let's cut that one.
Stewart was like, "You're ruining it for us."
So what's the reason for the slump, do you all think? Because we're all in it seems.
Who's showing off?
Yeah. Lady Ball's license thing, sponsored by visitknoxville.com. Here's my show-off piece.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Couldn't wait till the end of the show. No measurements.
Yeah.
Nothing. Go check your license plate on the back of your car, and there you go. There's your measurement.
Yeah, so we can start talking right now, Johnny. And if we can, wonder if you can we watch on the metrics like real time?
You can. You can see if it.
See if it spikes up and Wes walks out.
This is your part.
Am I the one freezing?
Stuart, that's really good.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Is he dead, Stuart?
Harvey, come back to us, Harvey.
Good day.
My eyes are really dry now from not blinking. Hey, I am a world-class staring contest person.
Well, that is all the time that we have this evening on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, episode 36, gentlemen. I enjoyed it. It was a good one.
Oh, is that me?
You're up.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for watching.
And now he's frozen.
I know, I was trying to intentionally do that. Now I cracked myself up. So let's do it. I'll play it straight.
Play it less than straight. I want to see you really soup this one up, Stuart. Welcome back, everyone, to the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, episode number 36, gentlemen. Episode number 36. How about that?
Wow.
Guys, I'm like Slim Shady. I'm like Eminem. Guess who's back? Yes, guys, back again. And you guys grew while I was gone, which is great. I didn't take it personally, but I took it personally. But it's good to be back. The gang is back together again. This is going to be
all back together.
Yeah, same to you, Johnny.
I know it's been a while. You missed the last two episodes, John.
You know what's crazy is you missed just one day, which is just like an hour, but it's like you were gone for weeks.
Yeah. So he's missed two total episodes, Stuart. Two of them. Well, I do have to say, since this is episode 36, in honor of Jerome the Bus Bettis, number 36. There you go, boys.
No, Dad.
We should probably come clean about why Johnny was missing. We were under a big NIL dispute. So,
true statement. So, Johnny, did you get all that worked out, or how's that going?
Yeah, the check's in the mail.
Good deal.
Did you guys see that kid? Was that what school? Was UNLV?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's like the school's saying one thing and he's saying another. The school's saying he wants more NIL because he did well the first couple of games, and he's saying they never paid him the NIL that he was, owed. So, and the crazy thing is, they have the rule now that if you don't play if you play 4 or fewer games, you can redshirt. So he's only played 3 games, so he'll be able to redshirt, transfer, and still be whatever year he is this year.
Wow.
God bless America.
Crazy.
Totally different from what I was when I was playing. Yeah. I was just living on $20 a week eating Taco Bell 4 nights.
I mean, not only will they pay for your school, but they'll pay you too. Man, that missed out on that.
Yeah. Sure did.
I've definitely been hanging out with you guys too long. I sound like an old man now.
Well, You'll start lamenting over everything.
Since the last time we saw you, Johnny.
I'm starting to see some gray in your beard, Johnny.
It is, man. It's getting out of control here.
Look at that. Nice.
You know, when you're young like Johnny, it's like Wes and I look pretty much the same because we're older. But yeah, I mean, you miss seeing you a couple of days, Johnny. You look completely different.
He does. I am still hanging on to my hair though, and I don't have a whole lot of gray in it up here, but it's starting to trickle in. So
that's because you dye it.
Yeah, you take Emmitt Smith's advice.
There's no dyeing in this hair. Mm-mm.
There's no way you have a beard that gray and that's your jet black on top.
I literally do.
Tell us the truth, Wes.
I'm telling the total truth. No reason to lie.
This portion of Just for Men. Listen, we are now up to 152 people that we could disappoint if our audio is not correct.
That's right. We got to get
there is the segue to our entrance.
Well, you know, Johnny, we got to jump into a sports moment here because it's fairly obvious what is going on here. You have the Buffalo Bills paraphernalia on, and kudos to you. The Buffalo Bills are sitting, I think, ranked second in the NFL, just right behind the Kansas City Chiefs. My Steelers are somewhere around fifth or sixth, and as you see, I am representing Steelers' number one dad. There you go.
Oh, I thought you were no one's dad.
No one's dad. I am no one's dad. But I do not see any Titans stuff on Stewart's statement. Stewart's, what happens to your Titans so far, my friend?
Man, Will Levis is what happened. And I'm not sure why they're surprised that he didn't work out or hasn't worked out yet. But
we both have 3s and 0s in our records. Johnny's and ours is 3-0, and Stuart, yours is 0-3. So I noticed we noticed you wasn't wearing any Titan stuff. So you've actually gone to an Ole Miss shirt. Explain that away, please.
All right. Well, I had a daughter who went to Ole Miss, so I did spend a lot of money there, and so
that's doable.
And I can wear the Ole Miss shirt, but I cannot wear an Alabama shirt, even though I had 2 kids who went to Alabama, so I spent twice as much money there. I cannot bring myself to wear an Alabama shirt. I mean, don't tell anyone. No, I think there is some picture floating around that Amy has of me in an Alabama shirt. I wore one time at a game when I went with the kids, but
Amy, please send that to me and Johnny.
I've tried to find all those and have them destroyed, which is hard in today's digital age. I think we've destroyed 63 hard drives so far, but they still keep popping up.
So no Tennessee Vols shirts tonight.
No, not tonight. It's an off week, so.
Okay.
I do want to know now that this is some breaking news that Wes, you may not have known this, but if you operate at least 2 antique booths, you can send your kid to SEC schools. That is amazing. Wow. Top of the line.
He's operating 3 of them, so there. Let's see. Alabama, Ole Miss, and he loves Tennessee. I don't know.
Yeah, the third one was for the College of Charleston kid who went there for school.
Yeah, well, Johnny and I just thought we would delight you with our NFL stuff here. We thought you would like that. All kinds of goodness here. But yeah, I figured you would have at least Tennessee Vols stuff on. Of course, Ole Miss now, Sturt has crept up to, I think, 3rd or 4th in the nation, haven't they?
No, they're right behind Tennessee at 6. Tennessee jumped over them after their dismantling of Oklahoma last weekend.
Well, I have to give them credit. They did. They played a good game out there in Oklahoma. So I'll give them that.
So are we letting Johnny back on the show this week? Wes, after our last video is well on the way to being the fastest ever to 100. And I can't figure out, is it because Kristen was on the show or is it because Johnny was not on the show? Let us know in the comments down there. Is it? What do you think? Is it because Kristen?
I have my guesses.
So maybe we need to put Johnny on a probationary period and working.
Or we'll send. I know what. Let's send him. We'll tell him we're going to do the podcast at a certain time. We'll do it 4 hours. Away from that. So Johnny, we were there. Where were you, buddy? No, we're happy to have you back, my friend.
You record for an hour, and then I come in thinking you guys just got there, and you just delete all that footage once I hop on.
Just hit the delete.
I just
button.
want you to know that to help this channel grow, I will not be here if you don't need me. So don't worry.
Well, we want.
But guys, I got to see Mamma Mia.
And that was my question to you. What play did you go to, my friend? Mamma Mia.
Yes. Frizz and I have we have tickets to the theater. And,
did you wear a tuxedo?
No. People do though. People do. I don't. It's going to like a musical or a play is very odd because there's a very large like genre of the way people are dressed. Like you have the people who are like, we're going to the theater, and they're in their like long pea coats and all of that. And then you have like the guy who like got off work real fast and just threw some shorts on and a t-shirt, and they're all just mixed together. It's a wild thing.
So had you heard of ABBA before you went to see Mamma Mia, and did you know any of the songs?
So I knew some of them. Lizzie had warned me ahead of time that Mamma Mia was very girly, so I braced myself for that, and it was. But I will say that it was. We watched the movie the next day just to compare, and the play was better. It's like the book was better than the movie. The play was better than the movie.
Okay, so we're going to assume that she picked it, not you.
Yeah, so it's part of the like whatever the season ticket package thing is that we have. So,
oh, we had season tickets to the Symphony, the Pops series this last year, and we saw I think a music of Elton John. So you're seeing plays though. We saw like symphony performances of pop music.
Now, Stuart, did you see that in the city of Knoxville? Go ahead, Johnny.
We did.
Oh, visit Knoxville.com.
Yeah,
what's the name of the theater
down there has not changed any since we were in high school.
I'm sure
not done much in the way of renovations. Mamma Mia, Johnny, Wes, and I both lived Mamma Mia back in the 70s. We were the skating.
That is true. I actually have 2 or 3 ABBA albums, so.
I will tell you, you get an ABBA song stuck in your head and your day is over. I mean, that thing's not getting out of there.
Yeah. True statement. Speaking of albums, I found this one this weekend.
Oh, well, that's the movie, right? That's the Bee Gees.
Yes, the Bee Gees one. It opens up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was terrible, but the soundtrack was really good.
Soundtrack was great, yeah. But yeah, that's the Bee Gees version. But yeah, it's really cool. Just thought I would share that one with you.
Have you guys ever seen the Saturday Night Live skits where Jimmy Fallon does the Andy Gibbs talk show?
Gibbs. Very good.
Very good.
Yeah. Those are hilarious.
What do you think? Don't you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He like gets
those white suits on. What's his name was on there with him too?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, yeah. They're both. That's both funny.
So the Kristen episode was awesome. I definitely had some FOMO on that.
Yeah.
What parts did you miss?
We missed you, and I did tell Kristen that we need to have her back on when you can be there.
Well, she said she'll come back anytime. Yeah, she is a fantastic lady, and we really appreciate her coming by. And again, Johnny, we're going to get her back on for you.
Yeah, I was super bummed I missed that.
I think we've been in a little bit of a Beanie Baby law. I don't think there were any more sales since the last episode. So, but we do have the fall festival coming up. A lot of opportunity there to move some Beanie Babies.
Do you think it's about positioning where you should put them in the store, or what do you think?
Oh, they're right. They're almost right inside the front door. They have a place of honor in the antique mall.
You can literally put them up on a line and go, "They're right here. Take the."
They're with my records in the books, so they're I think we'll probably sell some next weekend. We'll see how it goes. So, when this episode airs, I think we'll be 2 days away from the festival starting.
Well, we shall see, won't we?
Do you think we could set up a live webcam with a website and it's just focused on the Beanie Babies in the booth so that Wes at any point during the day can just check his phone and see the Beanie Baby live shots?
Or we can stream it live on our YouTube channel. That would be compelling watching there, the Beanie Baby cam.
Do you think people would rather watch our podcast or just a camera on Beanie Babies in an antique booth?
Well, that's what we should do on the next podcast. Just set up 3 Beanie Babies in our spots and let it run for 45 minutes.
And see how many more views it gets than when the 3 of us are on here. So,
Stuart, what if we do a live shot of one of your booths during operation hours, and then we comment as people walk in, and we're like, "Oh, she's going over towards the pictures. She's looking."
Oh, she's checking out. She's checking out the tiger. The tiger. Oh no! Wait a minute. She's going for the elephant one. There she goes.
Stuart, how obnoxious do you think Wes would get if he had access to a webcam with his Beanie Babies in it? Where he was like, "Hey, Stuart, I saw they picked up that rhinoceros. Did they buy that?
Yeah. How much money I get for that one? Hey."
Well,
maybe you should move those to the left.
It's funny you say that. I thought about putting a camera in the booth just so I can, keep an eye on things. But then I thought, I would do nothing but sit and watch that camera all day going, exactly what you said. When they pick something, you want it. Go ahead. Oh, don't pick
that. Then you look at it and you go, wait a minute, they're putting that in their pocket. They're walking out. Wait a minute, they're stealing it.
So
you put a speaker in the booth and someone's in there and you're just like, you want that. Buy it. It's a great deal.
Yeah, I go, this is the god of Beanie Babies.
Oh my word.
We might be onto something here.
Could be. Possibility.
I do need to give Molly, Libby, and Samantha a shout out. I did a consignment pick today. Went and picked up a bunch of artwork and some antique lamps and some crystal and an old crock, and I'm going to consign it. So we'll see.
Wow.
See how that goes. So
nice.
I was inspired by the ladies of consignment chats. Most of it's stuff that would be difficult to ship. I mean, it's mostly artwork and like big prints. A lot of nature type prints. There's one really cool Native American one that just doing some quick comps while I was there, I think probably will sell for $250 to $300. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how all that stuff does. So.
Well, I have to give a special, since we're on the consignment chat, ladies, I have to give a special shout out to Molly, who kicked her husband out of the eBay Open Greensboro so I could attend last night. And so I got to hang out with Molly at the little Greensboro eBay Open little pop-up.
So
tell us about how that.
So, hey, Johnny, is it Molly or Nick we should be shouting out then? It sounds like Nick.
Yeah, this is...
Did Nick willingly step aside, or did she, run out, shut the door, and...
How much did he pay you, Johnny, to go in his place? Here, 20, 40, 60 here.
So they set it up. It was pretty cool. There's a new jewelry store that just opened, and they actually did it in the jewelry store because the guy who opened the jewelry store started selling jewelry on eBay. Like that's how he started his business. So he's like a big eBay. Just a big eBay guy. So it was pretty cool. He has his brick and mortar, but does online sales as well. So he hosted, I don't know, there wasn't a lot. There's maybe 12, 15 people, but it's cool. We're lucky we get this so we can talk to like-minded. But, a lot of times when you do this kind of solo, it's, you don't have a lot of people you can talk to. So it was cool. And we got some eBay swag.
Ooh.
So you
should be sharing that swag.
Was there any type of program or anything like that associated with it, or was it just a social get together
So it was pretty much just a social get together, but they did eBay sent the lady who put it together, eBay sent her things. So the swags and stuff like that. And there was one of those little pop-up signs that you can take pictures with and stuff. And then they played a couple of videos about eBay Open, which I think was today and is tomorrow, really. So it was kind of structured, but not really. It was really just a little social gathering. It was for a couple hours after work.
So eBay Open did start today. Yeah, I'm not big on the virtual type events like that. I don't, what. I know some people get a lot out of it. Maybe I should give it a chance, but I don't know. If I can't be there in person, I don't know. I feel like my time could be better spent. So
that may not a lot of distractions.
It's another. Let us know if you attended eBay Open, and if you did, how did you like it? What did you get out of it? Do you like the virtual, or would you rather it be in person? 'Cause I've heard, I never went to eBay Open, but I've heard that it was like the daddy of all reseller conventions, that it was really incredible and, really first class as far as the way they did things. And so anyway, I'd love to see them maybe do a full in-person one again, but I don't know. I would be surprised if they ever do that again.
So it looks like they do something I know a couple weeks ago, a couple people that we follow on Instagram were at some kind of it's almost like an influencer get together thing that eBay puts on. And so I wonder if that's kind of what they do in person and then just do it for the masses online.
Yeah, maybe.
So Johnny, did you come away with any jewelry? Since it was at a jewelry store?
Well, we did a smash and grab before we left, so we got in there.
Well, I have to preface this because I did a smash and grab this weekend.
Yeah.
I went to this house. Now, this is the swankiest place I've ever done an estate sale. This was over in Alcoa. $1.7 million.
A suburb of Knoxville?
Well, yeah, it's near the airport, so. But it was a $1.7 million home that the sale of it is pending right now. Okay. And so I went over to the jewelry section and I walked by and I thought, you know what? I recognize those boxes. Okay. Well, in box number 1 was this guy.
Cool.
That is a state championship ring from 2019. And then this other one is from 2020. Wow. That was his freshman year.
You got those at the estate sale?
Yes, picked them up. But
who's selling there? Who's selling? I wonder if it was a coaches or.
I have no idea. But anyway, these were there. And my son, if he had played his freshman year, he would have got this one because that was from his freshman year. And this was from my stepson, his senior year. So we picked those up, and how much do you think we paid for them? They had 100, and this one was 150, and that was 140.
Is that?
Now, I know how much they pay for them. Huh?
Is that genuine cubic zirconium on there?
Probably. Yeah, it's not the real diamond thing.
You said so. That was the price that was on the box. you said?
No, that's the price that they had them up for sale.
Oh, but you didn't pay that much for it.
No, because I went the second day, and you know how they everything's 50% off, right?
Yeah.
Well, we start to walk out. We're leaving at about noon, and it's over at 2. I left them on the table. I was like, I'm not paying $75, $80 for those. I'm not doing it. So we left them, and we went to eat. And my wife said, well, I actually heard this woman talking to another lady. She said, if you'll hang around till 1 o'clock, then we start doing let's make a deal. And so she said, you can throw any price at us. So I came back. I drove back over there. I got there about 1:05, I guess. And I walked straight up to the manager of it. And I said, let's make a deal. She goes, what do you got? And I walked over to the rings. I said, I'll give you $80 for both of them. She said, done. So I paid $40 a piece for them. And I know what they cost because my son's got 3 of them. And great deal. I'll just say that. It's a great deal.
A quick trivia question for Johnny. This trivia question is brought to you by visitknoxville.com. What does the acronym Alcoa stand for? The city of Alcoa.
The
he's Googling it. Looks like.
His fingers were going.
I don't. Is there like is the O like Ozarks?
No, it's Aluminum Company of America.
Aluminum Company. Yeah. Aluminum Company of America.
It was a company town started by the Alcoa Corporation.
Right. And now it's left.
Plant, literally, how big was the Alcoa plant? Well, I mean, it was miles and miles long.
Oh yeah, it was really big, and they just put these little houses around it. You know, everybody worked there. Johnny, we're going to have you wanting to move to Knoxville before long, though.
Yeah, I'm moving. I'm bringing my aluminum foil, and I'm coming to El Loca or what is it called?
You'll have a head start. You'll know all about the city before you move here.
He'll be like that guy, sir. He'll be like that guy that came to Andy Griffith.
I was getting ready to say that exactly. The guy who came and knew everything about everybody in the town.
He started getting their paper and stuff and started reading everything about everybody. And everybody's like tripping out going, who are you? That'd be Johnny.
I'm gonna wrap my car in aluminum foil and just roll up all excited.
I'm here, everybody.
So Wes, how do you like sell those? Like where is the market for that? Because obviously that's like a niche.
Well, that's a great question. I don't know, but this one right here in particular, I'm glad I got that one because that was for my son's freshman year, and he didn't have that one per se. But it's basically for nostalgia, I guess, since he played there, you know. But knowing what they cost and just paying that much money for them, it doesn't bother me if I sell them or not. But, you know, if we do, we do.
We just got like paper certificate of completions. These kids get like rings now and stuff.
Well, here's another trivia. This is Alcoa, though. It's not really Knoxville. The Alcoa Tornadoes have won 22 state football titles.
Oh, it's like varsity blues.
It's the most in the state of Tennessee. They are currently, they've won the last 9 state championships in the state of Tennessee for AAA.
Yeah, Wes and I went to rival high schools, and in 91, they combined them into one school. So there was a lot of hate there, too, between the two schools. So
we usually won, Johnny. That's why.
Oh, is that what it was?
It was culture versus agriculture with Wes school and agriculture.
I like that.
So, Johnny, you got to see the video, obviously with Kristen, the rural squirrel.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on the biggest chunk of news in the video? Here's a hint. Stuart's name.
Oh yeah. I was not prepared for that. I mean, I'm glad that when that news broke, I was sitting down because I was not ready for that.
You know that with a name like that, does that kind of explain more the coat and tie and pipe that I had one night?
yeah, that's definitely a Harvey.
It's Harvey Stewart White the third. So I've got
Harvey Stewart the third.
Yeah, that's the smuggest name of all time,
isn't it? Unless you're the fourth. Is your son the fourth? By the way,
no. We kept Stewart in there. He's Tanner Stewart. So we did not. We broke the chain of the Harveys.
You didn't want to keep it going.
Harvey's not the most popular name now, and if anybody knows the name Harvey, they usually associate with that rabbit.
Johnny, who was the most prominent speaker on national radio back in the day? Everybody listened to.
Oh, Paul Harvey.
There you go. And now the rest of the story. Good.
Well, you have had an NFL player with the name Harvey Martin, who played for the Cowboys.
True statement.
So Paul Harvey, a rabbit, a football player, and a bunch of Stuart Whites.
Yeah, I'm sure back in the 20s that was a really cool name. So,
well, he's got other ones. Frank Hill.
Yeah, Kristen kept calling me Frank Hill, right?
Yeah, she called him Frank several times. Of course, it was on the.
I did notice that. I was actually glad that I found that out too, because if we were ever like in a social event together and people kept calling him Frank, I would have been very confused by that. Like, I don't know that I would have put two and two together.
Maybe I should have some business cards printed up with Frank Hill, and that can be my alias when
No. Go with this one, Frank Stewart. That'd be a good one.
That's your DB Cooper when you jump out of a plane.
I like Frank Hill better. Frank Hill, you're a reseller extraordinaire.
I'm Frank Hill. I'll be Harvey Stewart then. There you go. I'm Harvey Stewart. And Johnny, you can be number 4, the 4th.
Yeah, I'm going to be Ivy. Roman numeral 4. I'm going to be Ivy.
Ivy. You be Ivy.
You like that? But yeah, Harvey, I needed a moment.
So we had, sir, we had also dropped in episode 35. We left Johnny out of that one as well.
I refused to watch that one. It hurt too much.
That one's going to be a special weekend release.
Can I just say that I'm not happy about that? Like, you knew that I was missing Kristen, and you knew I was upset about that. I was excited, but to just squeeze in a bonus episode without me, I don't. Is it because I'm not in Knoxville? Is that what it is?
No, it was more that I got the time wrong with Kristen.
I did notice that. I was curious how that worked out.
We showed up an hour early, and so we had a bunch of extra footage that we thought, well, we might as well squeeze another episode.
Well, I told her 7:30, okay?
Oh.
Which I agreed to Central Time, and here I am. It's 7:30. Let's go. Where is she? And so Stuart and I just kept talking, and finally she showed up, and we had enough footage to do the extra episode. So we went ahead and we used that footage as well.
Were you blowing up her phone like, I guess you're not coming on?
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, Kristen. You say you're coming on, you don't. And then when you look at your phone, you go, oh, I did say Central Time. But I took it. I told her it was my fault. It was on me.
I will say that she travels and moves around so much that you don't know what time zone she is in. So, I mean, it gets confusing, you know?
Well, when I talked to her on my Slim Flippers channel a year ago, she was in Colorado. And now she's moved. She's in Illinois now. So I want to call Stuart Harvey so bad. Change your moniker down there, Stuart, to Harvey.
Stuart, did your dad go by Harvey?
No, only my granddad did. So.
Okay.
Did you call him Harvey, or did you call him Granddad or Papa, or what did you call him?
I just called him Granddad. So we didn't. They were not the. So my grandparents on my dad's side were just grandmother and granddaddy. They were, Then on my mom's side it was Momdy and Dandy. So we had, the names for them, but it was all business with my dad's parents. So. How have sales been for y'all? They've just this last week or week and a half has just been
I've fallen off big time. Yep.
I mean, and I'm actually listing more than I've ever listed. I mean, I'm trying to list my way out of this slump, and it's just been terrible. So,
Wes, what about your wife? How are her sales? Let's talk about
they're better than mine. Yes, yeah. They're better than mine. Thanks, Johnny. Wes keeps everything. I know. I'm just a nostalgia guy. That's all. I just
we had a really good July. We had a even better August, and then the last week or so has really kind of slowed down quite a bit.
Mine's went that same way.
But oddly enough, we're having a really great week on Mercari. And no, I mean, we're not doing anything different, but.
So speaking of Mercari, Johnny, when they put in the new fee thing where the buyers pay all the fees, did y'all do anything with your prices, or did you just leave them?
We lowered them.
Okay, so you did lower them.
Yeah, we lowered them just a little bit, though, because the fees aren't crazy. And we don't really sell anything high dollar on Mercari. So, we just did a couple bucks because I think they pay like 10% fees. And, when you're selling $20, $30 items, it's just a couple bucks. So we lowered everything a couple dollars. And then going forward, when we're cross-listing, we're using that smart listing feature where you can have them slowly lower the price over time, and we've been playing with that a little bit.
So I tried that a couple of times, but it's been years ago. Do they still? So when they said they lowered it over time, it literally like within the first 48 hours.
It's like almost it's
yeah. I mean, it's like give it a little time to percolate before you just start slashing the price. So yeah,
it is like
you list it for 20, and by like a day and a half later, it'd be down to 14 or something,
Yeah. We'll list it Monday, and then like Wednesday, we'll get you've hit the seal or the floor price, and we're like, oh, okay. But I will say that even with that, some stuff that has sold really quick there has kind of caught that like dropping price a little bit, because what we do, like we talked about this before on Poshmark, we list things higher because the fees are higher. So we list things up a couple dollars. And that's what I've been doing on Mercari. I've been listing things up a couple dollars and then using that floor price to come down. And some of the stuff that has sold quickly, we've caught like while it was going down. So we've actually gotten like better than eBay prices, especially with the no fee part.
That's an idea. I may try that on some listings, just mark it up a little bit over what I've got it, because you're probably like me. When I cross post, I have a base price and list perfectly. And then, of course, I do free shipping on a couple of the platforms, so I have to work in the cost of shipping on some of the platforms. And then, Poshmark and Etsy, shipping's paid for, but I raise the price roughly by $4 usually over what my base price is. And so, yeah, I may try like raising it a little more on Mercari than putting in that feature and see if it makes a difference. I mean, that whole fee thing, it's just funny when Mercari implemented the buyers pay the fees. It's like one day they announce no more fees for sellers, and then like the next email you get, everybody may want to consider lowering their prices to account for, I'm like, so you're really robbing Peter to pay Paul here. It's so.
But it's, when they did that change initially, like our sales stopped. I mean, we went like a week before we sold anything, but it's been, it's not an everyday, although what was yesterday? Monday, we had 5 or 6 sales on Mercari, which is insane. Like we used to have 5 or 6 sales a year.
Well, I need to revisit my Mercari strategy because I don't sell hardly anything, and it probably is because I've sold a few things since the fee thing has come into effect, and nobody's like said anything or messaged me, and but yeah, I may try playing around with some of those features just to see if maybe I can spur some sales on Mercari.
When we first started to cross list, we were doing it manually. And this is when we first started reselling. we sold one item the month we listed it on Mercari, and then never sold anything ever again. We stopped putting things on there. We're like, this platform is terrible. And then when we started to cross list, we're like, well, we'll just throw it on Mercari because we're throwing it on everything else. And like last month, I mean, nothing too exciting, but last month we did like $900, and I mean, an extra $900 in your pocket, you know, especially nowadays. I'm not mad at that.
No.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the same way with the cross posting. I mean, eBay's the only one that takes an amount of time to really list, and I'm going to do that one anyway. So yeah, Mercari and Facebook Marketplace and Poshmark. I mean, the incremental amount of time it takes to list to those platforms is so small. And yeah, you might as well, even if you're really not selling that much.
And the only other thing that we did, because Mercari has their shipping gets expensive once you get over £1.
Yeah.
I think 2 pounds priority is like almost $14, which, you know, a lot of people aren't paying $14 to have a sweater shipped to them. So you can use that UPS SurePost, which cuts that shipping in half. It's like 7 something. The only thing is you're not protected if it gets lost or anything, but
yeah, and you get this from UPS and the Postal Service. There's a lot of finger pointing. Same deal with the FedEx when it's a partnership with the Postal Service.
Yeah,
it's never my fault. It's always that other guy's fault.
Yeah.
I do free shipping on everything on Mercari anyway. You know, so
you generate your own label then?
Yeah, I use Pirate Ship I do free shipping on eBay, but I use their labels. Then I do free shipping on Mercari, but use Pirate Ship. I do free shipping on Facebook Marketplace and use Pirate Ship. Etsy, I do calculated shipping, so I'm using their labels. And Poshmark, of course, I mean, the shipping's baked in, so I'm using Poshmark labels. For the most part, I mean, every once in a while on Poshmark, with the kind of stuff I'm selling, people will bundle too much stuff to fit in one box, and then I just kind of have to make the financial decision. You know, do I go back to them and cancel the order and say, hey, I can't afford to do this because I can't fit it in one box? Or if it's a big enough order, I'll just absorb that cost and use Pirate Ship to generate, you know, an extra label or two or whatever I need.
Stuart, how many platforms are you on?
Well, five that are baked into this perfectly. And then I also cross post to Whatnot, which Vendu does Whatnot, I understand now. Mm-hmm. But I cross post everything to the Whatnot marketplace. And it's it's real quick to do that. Then I also go to District, Knickknacks, the Crazy Lamp Lady marketplace. So, I mean, in both those marketplaces, I sell something every once in a blue moon. I guess the last thing I sold on Knickknacks was a Body Farm t-shirt. I think we may have talked about that.
Whatnot marketplace. Kind of dive into that a little bit, if you would.
So it's basically just like any of the other marketplaces. It's stuff that people can buy outside the live shows. So, you know, Whatnot's mostly known for their live shows, but they have a marketplace just like eBay, Etsy, you know, and people can buy stuff anytime. And I mean, I'll periodically sell a few things through their marketplace. And then you can also, when you do have a live show, you can move stuff from the marketplace into your show. And so people have the opportunity to see it then as well.
Do you do that too, Johnny?
No. We, when we were doing live shows, we put things in the marketplace because it had kind of just come out with it when we were stopping. But like, I think for us, like we're at 4 platforms and like, I don't know that I want to be on anymore.
Etsy's,
you know, I just like,
you're not on Etsy, right, Johnny?
No. And like, I just think of like Mercari, which is great, right? Like we had 5 sales the other day. That's awesome. But like when you do well on that platform, like you can't bulk ship. So you have to go like one by one and print the label. So if you sell, you know, and we ship 2-3 times a week. So if we're shipping like 6 Mercari orders and like 5 Depop orders, like I'm going one by one and printing each label, and like, you know, everything kind of ships different and has its own shipping. And like, God, to think of like then doing like Stuart, I give you credit, man. Like to do Whatnot and then Etsy, and I know like a lot of that's more one-off stuff, and we've sold some bundles on District, but like there's so many balls in the air that it's like, dang.
It gets tedious, I would think, you know.
Fortunately, fortunately, List Perfectly's D-List has gotten very stable. For the most part, it works every time now. And I'm sure Vendu runs into the same issue. Every once in a while, one of the platforms changes something in their workflow, and it breaks the workflow for List Perfectly. But knock on wood, it's been running 3 weeks or more where I haven't had any issues with the D-List. And the good thing is, if there is an issue, it does show up in like a exception log, so you can tell if something didn't D-List. But I do have to manually go into Whatnot and District and mark them there, and I try to do that as the sales come in. If I'm at my computer, if not, I just do it at the end of the day. And I sell so little there, the odds, I guess, of something double selling on those platforms is pretty low. But I think I have the check to D-list stuff set up for every 10 minutes. So, if something sells within 10 minutes, it should be delisted on those other main platforms anyway.
So you can list on Whatnot and you don't have to do lives.
Yeah.
I will say, like, the next thing that I need these like List Perfectly Vendus is where you can just print all the labels in there too. Like it really just becomes this like one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah, if they could come up with some kind of engine, like work with one of the like Pirate Ship or somebody because I know, Pirate Ship, you can tie it to eBay and Etsy, so you can actually print your labels from there, like automatically almost. You just go in and, I know people do that because they'll have credit cards with points or whatever. And
so I was going to ask you about that actual exact topic. We always just paid for our labels with like our eBay funds. We do weekly payouts on eBay. To me, it's like easier to track like how we're doing. Yeah. I know people like get on a soapbox about like, don't let eBay hold your money. But like, if I see like, our cash deposit or, our deposit this week's $500, I'm like, oh, okay, it was a slow week. And if it's higher than your, whatever. But we always paid out of the funds, but I've been thinking of setting that to our miles credit card and just getting the miles and buying the labels through PayPal versus the funds. So I was curious if you do something like that or if you just pay with your funds for labels.
I just pay with my funds on eBay.
Johnny's wanting to take that trip over to Hawaii, aren't you, Johnny?
Yeah.
So it's not a bad idea, actually.
No, I know a lot of people do that.
Somebody was talking about that. I don't remember who it was, but said that they just set their miles card to PayPal and then we're paying for labels that way.
Now there is a way to. There is a way when you print directly from eBay to not take it out of your funds in there. I think there's an option you can tell.
Yeah, there's a funds option or a PayPal option. Yeah, it's been feast or famine, but when it's good, like I said, 5 in one day. Like I have more. We shipped today, and we shipped more Mercari than Poshmark orders, and that doesn't even make sense really for us.
Now, do y'all send offers on Mercari, Johnny?
Sometimes, because I don't think you can from the app. I think you have to do it from the website.
Oh, okay. And that's the only place I ever do it from. The only thing I don't like about Mercari's orders, you can't, it makes you, it's based on what your last offer was. It has to be some percentage. Well, that, it doesn't matter if it's the same people or new people watching it. You've got, and if you've sent 10 offers on something over time, the thing's going to be down to like less than half the cost or something. So.
Yeah.
You have to pay them to take it.
Yeah. For real.
Here.
And that's why I don't really ever check it. Because every time I'll like send an offer and they're like, must be lower. And I'm like, no, you're not going low.
It's not going lower.
I'm really willing to try anything this week to try to spur some sales. So I'm definitely going to maybe play around with that, lowering the price thing on Mercari. I mean, I've got a sale running on Etsy right now. I did 20% off shop wide, but I mean, it really hasn't. So, I mean, I was really doing well on Etsy there for a while, but it's been really dead, even running this sale. Then I did a sale on eBay of everything in my store that was really old. I did 35% off. I think it's probably a combination of things. I mean, I looked back historically, September's been kind of slow for me anyway. I think you're in that period between, summer and when people are gearing up to start shopping for Christmas. So I think people are saving their money for their Christmas shopping. And then I think specifically this year, you got the presidential election, which, it's pretty much up in there who's going to win. So I think people are, just any uncertainty, I think, causes people to hold on to their money. So, I think regardless of who wins, I think maybe once the presidential election's over, that maybe, people will see the world's not going to end either way and start spending some money again, hopefully. We'll be in the fourth quarter, October 1st. So, that's going to be the litmus test, because that's usually your best, retail is, retail's make or break on the fourth quarter. So, and I will definitely report back next episode how my fourth quarter started out, because we have the big festival in Clinton this next week. And yeah, it'll be this coming Saturday. And I mean, that's the make or break weekend for the whole year. And well, there's two festivals, but this is the biggest one. And you can really make in a weekend what you might normally make in a whole month. So knock on wood, it'll be really good.
You said that's this Friday and Saturday, Stuart?
Yeah, October 4th and 5th. I think that's the Friday, Saturday.
Are you supposed to have good weather?
I'm not sure. I don't know what the weather's like yet.
Yeah, I hope you have good weather.
My knee's been hurting a little bit, so I think that may mean
it's getting cold.
Rain a little bit, but my bursitis has been acting up again.
So Wes, to kind of piggyback off what you were asking before, I think we're down a little bit because eBay's a finicky thing, and last month we did that listing challenge where we listed 600 items, and this month we're not doing any challenges, so we're like less active on the site. And I wonder if eBay looks at that from like a metric standpoint and is like, this account is not as active as they were before. So I'm wondering.
They're penalizing you for not being as active.
That might just be crazy conspiracy eBay-ness, but.
Yeah, if we could crack that eBay algorithm, we'd be rich. But yeah, I'm actually doing a listing challenge this month on. It's on the reselling resource. I can't remember the full name of the Facebook group. It's the one that Primetime Treasure Hunter started. But yeah, it's like, the first couple of days you list 2 things, then 4 things, and we're up to 8 things a day right now. And I think by the end of the month, I think tomorrow we'll start 10 listings a day. So I think it's 260 items or something like that if you participate every day that you'll have listed.
I would say Tennessee Lady Vols basketball. I picked this up over at Pat Summitt's camp one year. I was reffing over there in Thompson Bowling, and I swung by there and I had her sign it. So that is original. Cool. That's original.
That's really cool.
Her Sharpie name put on it. So that one you will not find. I'm hanging on to that one. So
yeah, that's super cool. I wouldn't give that up either. So you stole the basketball out of a gym you were wrecking?
I said, can I borrow one of your all's balls and just hey Pat, I got one of your balls here, just sign it.
Speaking of Pat Summit, Wes, if you do go to the thrift shops here in Knoxville, I always look at the books and you look, Pat Summit wrote 3 or 4 different books, but always look to make sure they don't have her signature in the front, because I guess it was pretty the ones that donated here in Knoxville, a lot of them, I found 3 signed ones in the past couple of years. I mean, they sell for pretty decent money. So,
which I have never told you all this, but I've written 2 children's books and I have a 3rd one on the way. I don't think I've ever even told you all that, but
I'm still trying to get over Harvey, and you're dropping this on me.
Yeah,
I found that one. You know who that one is, Wes? Number 23 for the Lady Vols.
Oh Shamiko, yeah, Host Claw.
Yeah. So like I said, you can find a lot of, if they're UT people, make sure they're not autographed.
Yeah, I was going to say, does Doug know you have his book?
Yeah.
Doug's like, I can't find it, man. What
I've been looking for it.
So Doug and Bargain Barnes. I don't know who Bargain Barnes is. So
yeah, I had a book I'd written about one of my students. He had a brain tumor, and I wrote a book about him for him, and we sold all these books, and I ended up giving him all the money for it. But I ref Pat's camp, I don't know how many times, but I went up to her during halftime of one of the games, and I said, hey, I got a big favor to ask of you. And she said, Wes, I want to read the manuscript before I do anything. She said, so bring it over to my desk Monday, and I'll take a look at it. She goes, I'll be out of town recruiting, but I'll look at it. They called me back on Thursday of that week, and the lady said, I've got your manuscript ready. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to go by and pick it up. I walked in. I said, thank you. She said, did you not look? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I'm going to tell you something. She said, Pat gets about 4,000 requests every year to be in somebody's book.
No, I'm sure, yeah.
To do forwards and everything. She put the forward in my book.
Oh,
she said, she goes, Mr. Sperling, you're number 2 that she's done this
really
year.
Cool.
Now, is this book still in print? Is it one you can still order on Amazon?
Look it up on Amazon. You can look it up right now. It's look up Books for Jacob by Wesley Sperling.
So
look it up real quick.
So if you sell them now, where does the money go?
It's like the 17-cent deal. I don't get nothing off of it anymore.
Yeah.
But what happened, the kid, when he was 12 years old, he passed away.
Yeah, I didn't know if his family still got any money. I know it's like you said. I mean, unless you're selling 1 million copies, right. It's
We ended up giving him over $1,500 for their family. And his dad called me the day after he passed away, and he said, Coach, I want you to come speak at my son's funeral. Boy, it was the roughest thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
So what was the other book you wrote?
Well, what really happened, his first grade teacher sent a tape recorder around the school and said, hey, we want to, because he couldn't see anymore, he's blind. And he was going to Nashville for some operation and stuff. And they said, we want to read books for him on tape so he can hear him as he's laying there in bed. And so we all read them in our voice, And the books that we read, I couldn't talk about them in his book. So what I did, I just made up stories just out of thin air. And now I'm retro writing those books. I'm on the second or third one. But Jerry the Giraffe was one of them in his book that I talked about. But you can see it on Amazon. There it is.
Cool.
Books for Jacob. That's it.
Wow.
And you can see the forward in there too, Johnny. You see it?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can. There it is. Okay.
Well, you're the second reseller I know.
Oh, yeah.
Written a children's book. There's another YouTuber named Cameron Gravity Goods who wrote a children's book, and I have a copy of it somewhere. I've ordered one, but yeah. And so you're the second reseller I know who's written a children's book.
So and then number 3, we've got all the illustrations and the manuscript done. I got to get it in print. So
that's super cool, man.
I didn't realize we did a podcast with a published author.
Yeah, this is.
But I think in Jacob's book, if you read it, you'll understand where I'm coming from, because I talked about this and that, and everything I talked about, I planned on going back and retro writing it, and so that's what I'm trying to do now to kind of honor the kid, So
how long ago was this?
Cool. It's been a while, but he passed away, I think, in 2012. So. He was in middle school.
Well, I know we joke and cut up a lot on the show, but that's awesome, Wes. I mean,
yeah. It's good to do things like that.
How do we segue back into a fun, happy topic now?
Well, everybody go get the book. There you go. And check it out. Yeah. But anyway. Well, gentlemen, this has been a fun one this evening. I've enjoyed it. A lot of good reseller information in it. You guys got on a good run there, and I enjoyed listening to it all. I'm gonna go look and do some of that stuff. I need to go and get on some different platforms myself.
Yeah. Tell your wife.
Yeah, I'll say, hey, Johnny says you need to do this. And I'll just stand over here and I'll just hold on to all my stuff. I'm not getting rid of anything, man.
Wes just cancels all his orders and he's like, I don't want you to have it.
No, you're not paying that for it because it's mine. Well, that is all the time that we have this evening on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, episode 36. Gentlemen, it was a good one.
It was. Hard to believe we're at episode 36. Good to have Johnny back. Glad you got all your, NIL stuff worked out. And
that's right. All the show tunes have been sung.
I know I think our last episode was fastest to 100. So looking forward to seeing what this episode does. As always, appreciate everybody who's liked and subscribed, and we're getting ever closer to that magic 200 number when we do our next live. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.